Session number 25. 25. Uh, Never mind. That's a story for when we're not on.
Pressed for time.
And pressed for time. Exactly. Pull up my notes somewhere. I haven't been doing session names. We gotta name the last few sessions.
So I thought of a group name. Just mull it over. Kinda, sorta, but SORDA.
As in sort of like.
Mm-hmm. Just random thought. I don't know. It feels like it kind of, sorta. I don't know. It feels like it might work. Mull it over.
So what are you, adventurers? Kinda, sorta.
Kinda, sorta.
Love it.
At least that's what I'm gonna be putting in my notebook because Adventures in Sordane just made me sad because I couldn't think of anything better.
That's how I feel every time I'm writing the intro script. Like, what am I going to put this time? So anyway, we are streaming. We are recording. I guess let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Roll for Broke. My name is Adam, and I will be our dungeon master for session number 25 of 5e Combat is Hard to Balance. Joining us tonight is our lovely cast of players. Brandon plays the gunslinger fighter Sir Varric.
Hello?
Eventually I will say that right. We have Chris, who plays the lore bard Tyrion.
Hello.
Jean-Luc, who's playing the wild magic sorcerer Sen.
Look at Twitch chat. Someone's there.
Oh, shit. Twitch chat. Oh, my gosh. It's a good friend of mine from a long time ago. Anyway.
Hello, good friend from a long time ago.
Hey, Flunky. I almost used his real name. That would suck. And then, sorry, where was I in my script? Will, who plays the blade singing wizard Vasil.
Вкусный sandwich с сыром.
And finally, Phoenix, who is playing the life cleric Naiades.
Good evening.
With all of our formalities out of the way, let's get started with a high-level recap of the last week. I guess I can put us on. Oh, God, it's been so long since I've done the stream thing. Here we go. Sweet. Technology, it works. Last session, our characters had traveled to Verdon's Hollow, a small town on the coast of Shreet. Forgot that we were on Shreet finally. A small coast on Shreet that seems to have had all of its inhabitants kidnapped by a pirate king named Habig that the group has been tracking. Upon arrival, they found a group of traders that were ambushed by another group of gnolls while coming to the town to trade. Moments after speaking with Aura, the leader of the group, the gnolls had attacked on skyboards. Destroying and maiming the rickety skyboards gave our crew the advantage over these gnolls and dispatched them, maybe a little slower than we would have liked, with Tyrion looking a little worse for wear afterwards. We will be picking up tonight's session immediately after the last gnoll is slain. Right at the end last week. So, before we jump in, do you guys have any questions? It is recorded, Flunky. There should be... it'll be available, I think, for a week or something after this.
What time of day we got?
That's a great question. Let's see. It would be about 11 or so in the morning.
Cool. And then let's not forget. I think I know it was me, and then I forget who else. The two other characters that Naiades gave aid.
Yes, which is
So
what,
yeah,
5
make
other
sure
people?
y'all are. Yep. And that's just a friendly reminder. Make sure we're still tracking.
I'm out here with aid. Thankfully, not plural.
I still got mine on my character sheet. This is why I like doing PDFs.
Tyrion just sits down on the ground. Just sucking air. He's gonna cast a couple healing words on himself.
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah, he's at a solid, 5 of 50, so we're
having a
gonna
time.
take it. We're having a time.
He's a bit bruised.
Good
and
job,
battered.
everyone! And just, lie back on the ground with a thud.
Oh, I was looking for
Tyrion,
the...
you're good.
You get that, he's lying back on the ground, looking up at the sky, and he just gives the thumbs up, straight arm.
Okay, with the final knoll defeated, you guys see a wave of relief wash over the surviving merchants. And those that made it to the safety of the carriage come out one by one. As Aura emerges, she looks at the carnage and the lives lost. Turning to face you all, she says, "Oh, this is the hardest they've attacked us. They must have thought we were weak enough, not knowing you guys were here. We got lucky you arrived when you did. Everyone, let's tend to our wounded and try and get this carriage moving. Hopefully this is the last we'll see of those monsters." And as she says that, you start to see them kind of staying clear of the of that northern side of the. Let me change the northern side of the carriage, where I think there's two splattered guards that
Guardsman.
one's maybe a little more splattered than the other.
Like, is she going up to them?
She does very solemnly over to the one that's less impacted.
After making sure, like giving Tyrion a once over to make sure he's not bleeding out.
He's good now. He's he's not solid, but yeah, he's good enough to get up. He's sitting up.
And just give him a friendly, gotta polish off the rust. We'll get there. And he'll go
Something
over.
like that.
He'll go over to gosh, you just said her name. What's the gal's name?
Aura.
Aura. Can you spell that for me, please?
ORA.
Gotcha. Who are they?
And she looks at the other three that have started to make their way over. We didn't know them long. They were hired to protect our carriage here. But still, lives lost are lives lost.
They had names, yes. And out of character, Adam, if you don't have names, you don't have to come up with them. Just
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bill and
Job
Tim.
and Tim.
guard 1, guard 2. Fill in blank here.
What is it? The Star Trek?
No, it's spelled.
Was it red?
It's spelled Gardon, Gardone, and Anyway, she tells you their names, and they're very, prescient to
Noble.
the.
So this might be dumb, but I always pictured like House or the Court of Borealis having like some form of dog tag, not like the actual like dog tags. Would that be something guards utilize? Like an identification system like that? Like a
No,
badge?
some of them might, but these are not necessarily guards like city guards. They are part of a mercenary crew that was hired on for this.
So out of character, like, because this is something Vark cares about. Will their next of kin be notified, like by the other guardsmen, or are they just kind of mercenaries and shit happens, whatever?
No, the other three have come over, and you can see that they're starting to uh, uh, collect what they can and be respectful of the ones that had slain or been slain. And they tell them, or the other three tell you guys that this is all part of the risk that we take, but they will take care of the next of kin, because now
Seen my fair share of.
there's less share now. Less. Hold on, what is that? There's less cuts.
More shares to go.
Yeah, you
for
guys know what
everybody
I'm
else.
saying.
I apologize.
Kind of disregarding their last comment, Vark will say something to the effect of, "I've seen my fair share of fallen soldiers," as he pays his respects to each of them. Are they salvaging their gear? Like the fallen soldiers?
No, they are keeping them together, and kind of just gathering them in one place, and they look to be moving them into into a spot in the carriage.
I'm gonna move past that because I feel like I can go on forever. He'll turn to Aura. Where exactly were you heading?
Here, as luck would have it, we have been trade partners here with Verdant's Hollow for some time. We have some ship parts and local trade goods. I did not. I was not aware of whatever ill has fallen upon this city.
Vark's gonna, at her comment, he'll glance at whoever's closest in the group.
Yeah, Tyrion's gotten up from his recovery position and kind of
Naedes is
brought it
kind of
over.
looking over him to make sure he's stable on both legs.
Well,
And sorry,
anyone
this
could-
pauses me looking over my notes to remember exactly how this went down.
You got smushed into the ground quite well.
Well, yeah.
One of them
Backing up
made you
before
laugh.
that, when we got here.
So Vark will give whoever's listening to the conversation and paying attention, he'll give him a glance, like just that quick, like opening for input. Like, should we fill her in on anything? Should we tell her nothing? Should we just send her on her way, get her to safety?
Yeah, you'll hear in your head. Well, I think we should let them know. Using message.
I mean, you guys can also just be like, and step off to the side. If you're trying to be discreet, then you can be discreet.
Do
Nope,
the dramatic.
we have magic. We're gonna
One
use it.
second, and we all just like huddle up when they're right there.
Excuse me, I have to go confer with my colleagues.
Huddle up.
But Varric will give her the gist of what he knows is going on with Verdant's Hollow and why it's kind of in the state it's in. And he's going to pay very close attention to her reactions to the information.
As you're telling her, you'll see. Roll an insight check for me.
Yes!
I see what you were doing. I see what you're looking
Time
for.
to
A
lock
reason
and
to roll
load.
insight. As he pulls out his gun.
He wants to play with this toy.
You're damn right I do. Oh, rolling me a 19. Oh, that's a -1. 18.
As you're telling her what you know or what you've heard, combined with just only a little of what you guys have seen since you've been here, you see a very calm and collected outward appearance, right? Someone who is very in control of their emotions, their micro expressions, and what you see outward is very controlled. But you can see this profound sort of sadness in her eyes, and you feel it really in her eyes more so. Her face is very stoic, and she just tells you that it is with grave sadness, right, that she hears this. Like she said, she's been trade partners with these guys for a long time, and that she will do everything in Sunfire Trading's ability to do what they can for any of whatever happens.
I mean, Varric will look over at the caravan. I don't know about the civilians, but we could use some crew hands.
I appreciate the offer, but we have a very prolific guild that does pretty well for itself, that we need to keep up with. This was just our current stop.
Well, maybe, perchance, we could meet with this guild of yours. Just to make acquaintance.
I don't see why not. And with us in your debt, I can see us making some good bargains your way. Well, speaking of which, we do have some goods here that we came to sell, and if you're looking to purchase, maybe not to your militarily required spec, but we do have some trade goods and some airship parts if you were interested.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's smart to stock up over here.
Yes. But one thing my training taught me is you can make a weapon out of pretty much anything. Scrap or not. So I'd love to see what you have.
And you can see that they've actually, and she starts walking through. I'm not going to get too deep into all this because once again we'll be here for a long time. But they have a lot of provisions. It looks like they've gone through all of their medical supplies that they brought. They've gone through a lot of their food provisions. The stuff that's not damaged is some airship parts for engine airship parts or the Swordlight blimp, Swordlight furnaces they're called. They have some of those parts. It is just a lot of the generic, I shouldn't say generic, but just typical parts that you might find that typically need to be replaced on the more commonly or the more common hulls. She does tell you that she does have some custom parts that were ordered by Eldon Firth. That while she can't sell them to you or give them to you, she does show them to you, and they just look like
See.
they just look like very, very strange. I shouldn't say very strange, but just differently created engine parts, kind of similar to what you would see on your own ship, but a little less, more, I should say, function over form. Whereas the Valoon, the Rosethorn ones will be both form and function, sort of over-engineered pieces. Where these are a bit more.
They just don't have the slow close features.
Soft close, I'll have you know.
Maybe
Soft close, thank you.
I was
maybe
gonna say it's so it's more like worked
So-
metal than like a finished kind of.
more like prototype stuff that
Oh,
someone
gotcha.
farmed out
Okay.
for like hey, 3D print a bunch of this stuff. I'm testing out a bunch of stuff, and they're not refined by any means, but they may have been outside of his capability to create them where he was, or maybe just didn't have enough time, or whatever.
Bart
they-
will ask if.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go
Mr.
ahead.
Vasile.
Do you mind if I make a sketch?
I
Bart.
don't mind. No.
Then Varric will take a piece of parchment, and with his finger, ink comes out of his finger that you can tell is bleeding from a ring that he's got on it. But he just begins making a. Oh no, sorry.
How
This
did you
will
get a
be.
condition while we were separated?
Oh, you remember this? This is my note tool, my doodle ring.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
Tyrion would absolutely remember this. It might take him a second because it's just a little ring on his finger, and they might not have always been writing. Well, maybe with Tyrion, a bit more.
Okay.
In fact, could have been from him. I don't know. But instead of black ink, it's like a charcoal sketching. I see as he's doing this, he'll kind of to Vasile and Tyrion.
I was gonna say, Vasile, would you mind taking a look? Message.
Yeah, sorry, what am I looking at?
I think they want you to look at these prototype parts that
Oh.
that Eldon Firth had ordered.
Let's give him a peek.
Okay.
While
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, while they are doing whatever, is it alright if Naiades walks over to the Knoll Caster corpse and see if there's anything worthwhile on the debody?
Naiades loots the body.
Okay.
In the name of the Lord.
Why don't let's see. Hold on. Let me ask for a roll here really quick. What do I want you to roll? I want you to roll
Just
an intelligence check for Vasile, please.
Okay, gonna break in the brand new dice. We'll see how this goes.
Or no, I'm sorry, investigation. We'll do investigation.
Investigation. It's gonna be 15, 7 plus 8.
Okay, so we'll get back to you in a moment. You loot the body. What you find on this Knoll corpse,
Just making sure it's dead, of course. Yeah. that's
it
all.
is absolutely dead and certainly not moving. But you rifle through its pockets. You find a bunch of parts of something that used to be living. You don't really know what it was, but some sort of innards, organs, offal, like OFFAL, offal.
Yeah, like
that you-
fleshy bits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You find a few bags of that.
Oh, yummy.
And you find
Trail
a
mix.
Haggis.
I'm out of I'm out of liquor. Um, you find a necklace with a like a stone that's been very crudely drawn on it of just like a face, like it looks like a child's drawing of a face.
Mm-hmm.
And then their staff is there, and their staff does give you a less than mundane vibe to it, where um, it looks wood, but it's polished, and there's like a moon sort of symbol at the top where it comes up, almost like bull horns is the shape that the moon is in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's it.
Okay. Not really interested in the offal.
Oh, come on.
But we can make stew. But yeah, she'll take the necklace and the staff and see if it could be used for anything for anybody else.
Okay. And
And
Vasile. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and just see if anybody recognizes the emblem on the picture, if it's some kind of clan marker or something.
Okay. Well, I guess before we get to Vasile, go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Are you asking Tyrion about it?
She might.
Yeah, not very good.
We'll start with her, and then I'll allow one more
Uh,
roll if she asks somebody else.
9, but yeah, she'd probably more be asking someone else due to the fact she lived fairly sheltered life at the monastery place.
Okay.
So if
So
Tyrion's
yeah,
free,
you don't recognize the symbol. It really just looks like a crudely kid's drawing of a face, right? And maybe there's some like anger eyes on it, like the eyebrows might look a little like but it doesn't really give a lot of detail to it. But
okay,
you don't recognize anything special from it. But you go over and you ask Tyrion about it, I assume.
yeah, Tyrion, would you have a look at this? I found it on the body of the knoll.
Oh, certainly. He takes it and looks it over in his hands and
Why
history.
don't you history check for me?
Gotcha. Is that a 2 or a 7? Hold on. Let me see. What did I
Oh
roll?
shit! It's one of those dice where you can't tell. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's good. It's probably not much better. I rolled a 2, so that's a 12.
Yeah, you haven't come across anything that looks exactly like this. I mean, you've seen kids' drawings and such, but
He's too distracted by the smell of the Knoll Trail mix.
and the knoll itself is probably a bit smellier than the bags of whatever this used to be. I mean, it is fresh. It just came from something, so it's not like it's rotting by any means. But the knolls certainly have that stench about them, a bit stronger.
Hey, Zen, you want to
Oh.
check this out quick?
Oh my gosh, you guys got your rolls. So back to Vasile. And you start to look over these parts, and what you heard about this, what you guys have heard from your rumor mongering a bit. Maybe that's the wrong word. I guess that's creating rumors. But you're asking about that Eldon Firth was kind of this up and coming shipwright, right? Creating new ships and new things to do, and you can really feel that in some of these ways. And Vasil, looking over the rose thorn, this is really cutting edge, very you know intricate and differently created fittings, right? Nothing really, you can't just go and buy stuff off the shelf. It kind of fits in you. It's kind of created it in its own way. But the Elden Firth parts, they seem to be more rooted in the common build, in the common sort of mentality of how things are supposed to be built, but also, attempting to do um, a bit more efficient as much as possible without messing up their form so much that they are unusable to everyone else. Like, you could probably fit these into your ship if you had a normal ship, even though they are prototypes, and even though they are, they you don't even know if they necessarily work.
So it
But
all follows a basic general like design theory.
yeah, this feels more like the everyman Honda Civic, 2000 Honda Civic approach of just getting a bunch of reusable parts but more efficient versions. Whereas
Mhm.
your Rose Thorn is more like, a new Tesla, right? That has all sorts of whatever's under the hood that you can't really just take to a shop and fix. Whereas, this is probably just an aftermarket, turbo for a
It's
2000
just a new
Civic.
exhaust system to make the airship sound louder. It's loud, but is it fast? No.
It's one of those ghetto
Rise
horns
up
that
the airship.
when you hit the horn,
But the
it
but the
plays mariachi
chicks love
music.
it.
We need
Oh,
a
you
liquid
bet
Garacha
not
horn.
put one of them crackle tunes on it.
But you really get the dichotomy of the two different the ways of pushing the boundaries on what is new in the shipbuilding world. Whereas what you guys have is very trying to go your own road to do the most fanciful and over engineered way, and then you have well, just do this but better sort of approach.
That makes sense.
Um, Naiades might wander over to Sin, and because she got the sensation that the staff was different, if Sin can pick up anything from it because of her magic usage, or
If I take a look at it again, I could have a magic thing for it.
I'm going to say this because you said without realizing the sensation.
We were all gonna.
but bum.
uh so Sen, go ahead and roll an arcane or arcana check for me.
Finally, a chance to use the new dice.
There you go. I'm doing it for you.
Alright, so that's a 16 plus 4.
So immediately you know that this is given off a very faint magical aura, and you get the feeling that whatever this thing does was not actually being used by the knoll that you guys were fighting. And you'll need some more time to either identify it or just sit down and study it. But it feels magical, and the motifs of, like, you see stars, kind of like faint stars kind of carved into the wood, and some more different moon iconography on it. But even with the 20 arcana, you don't know exactly what it does, but it does seem like it was not used to its full potential.
Potential? Yeah.
Hey, all right, give it here, give it here. As I must now use identify, I suppose.
Vasile can cast Identify as a ritual.
Yeah, let's take 10.
Just a question for you. So those floating, I'm just going to call it hoverboards. I know 2 of them were destroyed. The last one did it actually get destroyed, or what actually Because if it's not too destroyed, can we investigate, see if it's repairable?
Sure. One of them, it did land pretty hard after taking a glancing shot from somebody. But yeah, you can go over and take a look. Are you doing it yourself, or are you kind of grabbing somebody to do it?
I'm going to grab someone to do it because she's not the best with this sort of stuff.
I don't
Not
I
sure if
suppose
she.
suggest not Tyrion.
Yeah, she's not sure if she's going to bring Varric or if Vasil's busy. If he's not busy identifying, she'll grab him.
Well, I mean, did Tyrion want to do his thing with the magic stick? It's up to you, mate.
Well, actually, if we want to take just a while here, since we seem to be at least somewhat at peace, want to take like a short rest or something?
Not
if
quite.
it's okay with Adam and everything, and the other guys, if you don't mind, just
don't look at me. Don't. I don't get to say you guys, but I don't know. I'll keep my mouth shut.
no, that's fine. I don't want to interrupt anybody's decision roles or.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, if we wanted to take just a quick break, I mean, I could pull up a song of rest and boost a little
Yeah.
bit of
Because it's
health
not
regain.
super important. We can just put it back on the ship and look at it later.
Check it out while we're on the road.
Fair enough.
What
Yeah.
is the cast time of Song of Rest?
Oh, it's just over a short rest, if I remember right. Hold on, let me see.
And it's a ability.
Yeah, it's an ability.
Right, but a
Yeah, it's
short
over the
rest
course
is
of a
like
short rest, and it gives you
Okay.
just the extra
An
d6
hour.
healing points.
Yeah.
So yeah. Break for lunch?
So what are you guys doing?
I think we could do with a break. Vasil would not mind having the time to recover some of the spell slots he burned up.
True. And it could maybe in that time is in the short rest. Are they able to continue looking at the lady's wares, or would she want to move on?
Oh, they have to fix their ship or their
Oh,
carriage. Their carriage is still busted and unable to move at the moment. But they haven't really had the.
So I just get to perform for everybody then.
Oh no,
He's got a crowd.
a captive one.
These ones can't run away.
Serves you right. The ones at the floating tavern couldn't either. So
Okay, so you guys sit down to take your rest. You guys pop up your feet and start to relax a bit, and you see the a sort of feeling wash over the other the merchants and the guards as they do their last rites. And you guys do see that within the carriage there are some other slain merchants. There is one other slain um, guard that is inside of this carriage already. So these are not the first casualties of their trip. What are you guys doing during your rest?
Would I be able to
no.
help them repair while short resting, or is that too strenuous of an activity?
That's too strenuous for your resting.
Then I'll forego the short rest to aid them.
would Naiades be able to help with last rites, or again is that too?
No, I think doing the last rites is fine, but fixing things and that's not necessarily resting, but
Exerting yourself,
yeah, I think walking around and just being helping them give last rites, I don't think that's strenuous.
Okay, Naiades is going to help with the last rites and prayers and things.
What about walking around and investigating one of those hoverboards? Would that be too extraneous?
No, I think we can do that during our hour break. Who's so? First of all, before we get to that, Vark, go ahead and roll a. Um, do you have tinker tools?
I do, and Smith's tools. Well, not carpenter's tools though.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and roll a tinker tools check, please?
Oh, I don't know why I reached for that dice. Draw. Plus my proficiency, 17.
17. Okay. Um, is anybody helping with them, or are the rest of you getting your rest?
Vasil's taking some time to ritual cast Identify on the magic stick, and then just maxing chillaxing.
Okay, are you looking to get your short rest, Vasil? Or is that not something you're interested in?
Probably taking like an extra 10 minutes after everyone else has taken their rest.
Okay, I only say that because you'll need an hour and 15 total to get yours if you're taking the
Yeah.
15 to do your ritual. Okay, so how much going on here? Vasil, you finish casting your ritual, and what you have in your hands is a staff of the Dream Shepherd. It's called, and I think I could just hit a button here to guys what this is. Let's see. Anyway, I will figure out how to do this. Nope, that's not it. Ah, here we go. See if that works. See if anything's
Ooh.
the picture is not
Ooh.
exactly the picture that that you guys have. Do you guys see the actual text on it too, or is it just the picture?
I see
Yeah,
the
we see the
text.
text.
Okay, cool. So you get a staff of the Dream Shepherd. Varric, as you start to tinker with this and you look over the parts that they brought with them, you can see that there are some parts that can be, let's say, re-engineered to work with what they needed to. Um, you won't be able to get it fixed here the next hour, but spending this hour to help them modify and help them tweak what they need to will probably cut a good 4 or 5 hours off of the repair time required for getting this back on the road.
And if it helps at all, Vark might kind of jerry rig it to, if they need to just get it out going in one time.
Yeah, that's the goal that I was going for. It's not perfect.
Cool.
It's enough to get it up and
Going.
propelling down the road to get them. They don't care if it looks nice and pretty, and it certainly will. It is not a permanent solution. It is a wearing a donut with holes that have been patched in it until you get to the wherever your spare is.
So while he's helping this crew, he's gonna kind of start off with small chatter, just asking people like where they're from, where their name, like what their names are, things like that, to get to know them a bit, and then in an attempt to like raise morale while they're working, Varg's gonna tell them a story of when he took a skyship trip to Senzar. They crash landed. A lot of fuckery ensued, and he barely made it back alive. But he made it back. And that's kind of like the moral of the story is, while it might be treacherous, you still make it back.
And you see the some people appreciate that some of the merchants that are essentially rolling with a commoner stat block right now are appreciate that a little bit. The while the mercenary or the guards that they had hired are kind of like, yeah, okay, in a perfect world sort of thing. Two of their people are dead, so they may not appreciate it as much as some of these other the other guys do. Okay, so anything else during your short rest, guys? Oh, who was checking
Have it.
out?
Oh,
We were checking out that skyboard, right, Vasile? Or were you looking for your rest?
Vasile was taking the rest.
Okay.
I believe Sen was looking at the skyboard with Varric.
Yeah, he'll help with that. Take a couple minutes.
I have a
If no one else
table
does.
of songs that I roll for Tyrion. One of the songs that was in his Song of Rest was Lowrider.
Oh gosh.
It just
Is
pulls
that
out
what's
the
playing in the
balloon.
background?
Dun, 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 dun. Yep. Get some ZZ Top in here. Wow, I haven't thought about them for a while.
Yeah,
Low
ZZ Top.
Rider.
It's a little hot.
So anyway, so while Lowrider plays in the background, yeah, it's going to be
Alright, I'm
stuck in my
done.
head all night. Thanks. Go ahead and roll a investigation check, Varric, on this hard landed skyboard.
Well, Bark will ask Sen, do you want me to take a look at it, or just lend you a hand?
You probably are better this than me. I'll help you.
Thank you.
Hold the flashlight.
With advantage.
Aziz, light! With advantage. Well, first one was an 18. That one's a 13. You said investigation?
Yep.
Plus 4 is 22.
Okay. Looking over this skyboard, it looks like it used to be in pretty good shape. But it also looks like it has been used for a long time without proper care and maintenance. And with the hard landing, there are pieces that
Sorry, someone finally got my reference! Sorry.
I can't even look at Rosethorn name, so anyway.
Did nobody know that?
Aziz, light! Thank you.
Sorry, I'm taking
I've
notes.
said that I don't know how many times. Anyway, sorry.
What was I saying? Oh,
Sorry.
right. So at one point, this was, a nice skyboard, but it has certainly seen better days, and certainly better than after it last landed. And it can be repaired to a functional state again, but it's gonna cost anywhere between 200 and 300 gold to get back working. But you think this one in particular can probably be repaired. The other two, they're spread out all over this place, and
Could we salvage parts from said skyboards?
There you go. What about their engines?
You did a number on those, so no.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. But so, as Varric is looking over this one, I look at Sen. So, do you want to have, a skyboard or something better?
Well, I wouldn't use it, but I thought maybe someone, maybe Basil would like it,
Well,
It would be
Vasile's
good
not
to have
here.
more than one of us that can fly.
Vasile's not here, so I think I will take my hands on this one. And Bark's gonna, if he can pick up the whole thing, he's gonna.
You can. They are kind of big. I don't think you can pick it all up in one hand.
Lend us a hand.
All right. So she grabs the one side, and he probably has the other side.
It's got a sail on it, that's been broken off, right? And they're probably about 6 or 7 feet long. Imagine a surfboard with a sailboard. That's exactly what it is, a flying sailboard with 2 large spell jet thrusters strapped to it that looks like a crazy redneck experiment if we were on Earth, you know. But but yeah, you
Yeah,
can
this is Uncle Bubba's skyboard.
you can drag it back to the ship if you'd like. Someone's gonna have to like hold on one of the boards are just kind of like, or one of the engines are just kind of hanging off there. But
Yeah, Varric will like finagle. And as he's, focusing on finagling and maneuvering, Sen, you would see a look on his face that you would recognize. You can tell that he is deep in thought as he is looking over this skyboard.
I mean, she knows them pretty well, so we figured that if he helped them, he'll be interested in it. Vasil also seemed like, so it was a win-win either way.
Yeah, win-win is right.
okay, go ahead and mark off your long rest for everybody except Varric.
What rest?
Short rest,
Your short rest. Sorry.
and then don't we get that one
And
song
if you're
because of the
using...
Barik?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, I was going to say what you were going to say. The song for because we're doing a short rest, a little buff or something like that.
Yeah, you get an extra D6, I believe, to your healing. Let me just check that number real quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
when you spend one or more hit dice to regain HP, you get an extra D6.
Okay. So anyone that used hit dice to regain health, you get extra. Do they roll the d6 or do you?
I mean, I can roll the D6 if you want.
I guess that's kind of a question for you, Adam. I guess that's kind of a question for you, Chris.
Each of you roll your d6 separately then.
Okay.
To see how much you like ZZ Top.
Let's see.
There
Isn't
isn't
the
a
writer,
dice big enough.
Rolling little healing.
Isn't Lowrider a war song, though?
I don't know the lore behind ZZ Top. I'm sorry.
Did they do it? Let's see.
It's
Why did it ask
about
to roll a
motorcycles.
dice
Don't tell me anything different.
for short rest? I don't know. I did something wrong.
Were you rolling hit dice to heal?
I guess actually yes, because I was down to 37, I think, or something.
So when you hit short rest, it probably asks you, "Oh, do you want to roll hit dice?" And then it asks you how many. And then if you hit, however many you hit is what it rolled. So it looked like it did 1d8
I added,
plus 4.
yeah, so I just added 6 points of health, which, yeah, I guess.
Yep, that's it. Okay. You guys doing anything else? You guys have your short rest. Looks like your new merchant friends are busy at work trying to repair their ship or their carriage.
Can we
Thanks
get
to Veritas.
Skyboard parts from the carriage people?
Want to visit Grimble.
I mean, Varric used some of them to help them repair their get their ship together. Why don't you roll a roll an intelligence check.
Sorry, which
Whoever's
one,
doing
Varric
this.
or Tyrion?
Well, you asked, so you
Okay.
get to roll.
Yeah, sorry, he said something about Varric having helped out, so I wasn't sure if you wanted him to roll. Okay. I
You
will
asked for it.
absolutely roll intelligence.
Tyrion's over there pretending he doesn't know anything about, repairing the stuff, and he's like, "Hey, wouldn't that work for you? That looks familiar. That looks familiar."
Yeah, well, look at that.
You knew that this whole time?
10. Straight
Hmm.
intelligence.
10. Nothing really seems like it would fit. You're looking for Like you might find some oil and some general maintenance parts, but the spell
I
jet.
found the blinker fluid.
But no, you're not finding anything amongst their parts that you can reuse for these guys. At least nothing that's going to bring down the repair cost.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what are we here for again? No, I'm just kidding. Did anybody else have anything for short rest stuff? Or
Well, you guys got your short rest, so what are you guys doing?
Just checking though, who has the staff of the Dream Shepherd though? Because they need to attune to it. With a short rest, you can attune to it.
Yeah, I mean, after Vasil had, identified what it was and given the lowdown on, what it is, what it do, what it's doing.
Would it be?
why is it like that? Butter sausage.
What that
Thank
thing
you.
do?
He would have handed it off to whomever would have wanted it. It's not something that he himself would really want to use for himself. So you figure, actually, he would figure on probably handing it back to Sen, or no, not back to Sen. Back to Naiades.
I don't know if Naiades would really use it.
Well, you guys can talk amongst yourselves about that.
Can she just carry? No, because
Yeah, you don't have to attune to it now.
yeah, can she just like carry it? It doesn't weigh her down too much. So I don't know. Are they going to be continuing on foot, or do they have to go back to the ship for the continuing on?
Well, do we want to investigate around town?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes. Well,
I keep
There can
thinking
be
it's
one on the way.
ruins.
Just show up, kill the gnolls, and leave.
Yeah, bye.
We did our
Push the
job.
envelope
See ya.
and leave.
time for the mission accomplished speech.
We did it, guys. We saved the city. The city.
It's on fire in the background.
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
I suppose we did come here for information about stuff, didn't we, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Could we
Well-
have a look at the combat map? Get a kind of idea about
Isn't the
what we're
combat
looking
map-
at for buildings?
Isn't it up?
Yeah.
Oh, what? I have a gray screen. So okay,
Oh,
You might need
let me
to
just
refresh.
refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the walkways.
Yeah, it was like
are
this gray
showing.
gradient, and the whole time was like, "What's going on here?"
So I
Okay,
don't
So
wanna-
it's just me.
I don't want
I got you.
the combat map to be like the end all be all of what the city
Yeah, it's
is.
just general sense.
But what you feel from where you're at, there's a really nice city center that you guys were kind of focused in right now. There is a large sort of community style building kind of on the north side of the square. And from here, there's also just it's a small town. There might be maybe 30 buildings total in the whole city here. So that like large community building is the sort of standout place for it. Along this very nicely elevated walkway that has the that center statue as kind of the focal point of the square. So that's kind of what's around you guys.
Taking a look at the statue, is there anything like a special plaque or anything about it?
You would think I would have thought of that ahead of time. So the what would be on
Like,
this?
I didn't know if there would maybe just be like a little bit of town history or something about the cool statue that's there. But if not, that's perfectly cool.
All it says is to the shoulders of the giants that we stand upon.
Goes hard.
Do parts of the city look like they've been like ransacked, or like you think that had been trashed when the people disappeared.
Yeah, as you start to look around and peek your head into some of the shops and some of the houses kind of that are in this area, you absolutely get the feeling that this thing has been ransacked, either um, once very thoroughly or multiple times. Over however long this place has been either empty or maybe it was ransacked when everybody was missing. You don't really know for sure, but for certain, every house that you look in, there seems to be nothing of value in plain sight. Um, you don't see any nice dishes. You don't see any. Almost anything of worth has been ransacked. You see some of their stuff has been pulled out into the street, and it is just yeah. People have
Does
pulled
it?
what
Sorry, I said, does it look like as if ransacked if somebody's snatched people away, or if it looks like they are trying to escape, say like Pompeii type escaping, run and just
mm,
grab what you can?
it certainly looks like um it looks like people were looking for valuables.
Okay.
You can see that trunks have been pulled open and upended. You can see like all the clothes, pulled out of drawers, and it looks like it was ransacked, but you do not see any inside of these buildings. You don't see any blood. You don't see signs of combat or a massacre or any large scale murderings, I guess.
So personal mementos look like they've been more or less left behind.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say that, as I'm assuming we're all collectively, we've gathered up, we're exploring around, trying to get a lay of the land.
Save for Varric, who is
Fair,
going to try a different approach.
fair enough. But yeah, I'd say, whoever's out looking, Vasil's probably accompanying them. His usual like upbeat and not as serious demeanor is shifted to near opposite that. I mean, to him, this is all too familiar of a sight.
Okay. Vark, what are you doing while they're looking around?
Sorry, let me update my notes real quick before I forget. Sorry, I'm trying to get better about taking notes. But just to give you, he's talking to you, Aura, like gradually, like after a story, continuing small talk, asking how long like they've been here.
Uh, they've only been here for 24 hours. They just arrived.
And what was they're just returning?
It was a trade
No,
deal here, right?
they
Delivery?
were bringing goods to deliver to the different merchants that are here, and to deliver those parts for Eldenfirth, and they're just part of a a stand. I shouldn't say a standard delivery trade. It's not exactly like the Marlin, but they're here to sell goods to the local merchants and they're part of a trading guild. That's kind of what they do.
Does she know, or has she ever met Rowan Blackwood?
And she knows of Rowan and her and his mother, Delilah, but she has not had the privilege of meeting them.
And Barak will extend that question to the rest of the mercenaries, the civilians, like cordially.
The rest of them don't have any idea who you're talking about.
Okay. Wow, what was the news last time they were here? Like news about town last time they stopped in, and when was that?
The last time they were here, probably 3 or 4 months ago, and the news was that Eldon Firth was doing really well. He had just sold a new ship, and he was looking to do something drastically different with his next one. Everybody was excited. It was kind of the first time that anybody knew what Verdon's Hollow was. This is just a podunk little town, right? People were actually recognizing this place because of what he was doing. So there was kind of a buzz about the town. Everybody was really happy.
Do we happen to know if Eldon Firth is missing as well? I can't remember.
It was a supposed rumor that he was kidnapped by the
Havoc as well.
Pirate King Havoc.
So he's
Along
he's
with
from
Rowan.
he's from the town, yeah. And there is
Yeah.
a shipyard here that you guys haven't really looked through.
Yeah, we landed.
I just
in
couldn't remember if we had been given this information already. As was why I was just
It was
trying to
more like
reiterate. Couldn't quite remember.
more of a rumor, and not necessarily. You don't really know for sure
So
what's
we need
happened here.
something to investigate into the shipyard.
Yes, sorry, that answers yes. Okay. The rest of you, as you look around the town, why don't you roll an investigation check for me? See what you guys find in your cursory glances about the area.
I do have down that there was like signs of struggle at the shipyard, but we kind of skipped it in favor of going to the town center.
Yes. So as you guys kind of landed and kind of hightailed it directly to those people, while the rest of the town, you see that there's very little. There might be here and there little sections. Maybe someone had been cut here and there, but you don't see signs of like a bloodbath or anything. But in the shipyard, though, there is a scene where it seems like there was some combat done here. There is blood. There is stuff that is turned over that looks more like broken and not necessarily overturned. So it looks like there is a bit more of a fight there as you guys kind of ran through it. Are you guys going back over there?
I would like to.
I think we
I would
should.
definitely suggest this at some point after getting through town here.
Okay.
Were
What
we
did you
still
guys
doing the
roll for?
investigation checks? Or
Yeah, please.
Gotcha.
I rolled an 8. I'm on fire tonight.
Well,
I
because you're
got a
using
10.
the online dice. You're not using your new dice. That's the
I
problem.
used my dice and I got a 10.
Oh.
The other half's asleep, so I don't want it to clank and.
That's a 13 for tier.
Okay.
Isn't that 20 for 28?
Uh,
Your dice. Your dice.
Now we have an excuse. You gave them to me.
Okay, well, with that roll, as you guys start to look around the square, kind of on your way over to uh, back over to Eldon Firth's shipyard, you do notice very obviously that this community sort of building on the north side of town it looks to have been lived in a bit from what you can see from the outside, and you see the like looking through the because this is like a really nice elven town, so there's lots of windows, there's lots of open air, and you can see on the inside that there is lots of like carcasses and blood, and you see just on the outside looking in that something gruesome is on the inside of that.
Like animal carcasses or people carcasses?
With that
We're
roll,
about to
you
find
can.
out.
With that roll, Vasile can see that they are mostly animal carcasses.
Okay.
But you haven't.
That
I
might be
haven't.
where our
I haven't said you guys have gone in there yet. So that's just what you see from the outside without a closer look.
Vasile's
What-
assuming that's probably where our Knoll friends got their trail mix.
Okay, so you guys go in, check in that side, or are you guys going over to the shipyard?
I mean, Tyrion's got his hand on the door handle, unless Facile has it, because he's the one that high investigation.
He just knows how to spot his way through the uppity, you know,
I think he was
fancy
giving you the
looking.
option. Are we going in or going to the shipyard, Vasile?
We'll go in.
Okay. As you all step into the large elven community building, the transformation wrought by the Knoll's occupation inside of it is immediately apparent. The once graceful and harmonious architecture of the elves is now marred by the chaos of the piles of looted goods are haphazardly strewn about, forming small mountains of trinkets and fabric and household items, each telling a silent story of the village's abrupt abandonment. In corners and along the walls, the remains of various carcasses lie decaying, their presence at odds with the serene village outside. The air is thick with the stench of rot, mingling with a faint, inexplicable stench that a few of you are kind of familiar with fighting these movements before.
Tyr is straight up not having a good time right now.
So, you guys have found a knoll den.
Ew.
All its glory.
Using the rapier, he'll just wander around the inn, poking at different piles of the cloth and other stuff, making sure it doesn't move.
Well, and with Vasile's help, because he's got a pretty good eye for things right now. As you start to turn things over, you can see that most of the stuff in here has been taken from outside the city and piled up in different piles. Like there's the shiny pile, and there's the not shiny pile. There's the chairs. All it like the knolls don't have a really good sorting system outside of what looks pretty and what's not pretty.
My taste.
But they seem to have done a pretty good job of gathering up all the coins that they have found throughout the city. So go ahead and add to your loot, if you're taking it, 1,650 gold that you guys find.
Can I cast prestidigitation to clean that gold?
You're welcome to.
Is that
How much was
each
it
or
again?
just to split?
That's the split. And it's
Okay.
it's in a pile of gold, silver, and platinum pieces. So I'm not gonna like force you guys to make change, but it's just a pile of a bunch of stuff.
And sorry, the exact number?
1,650.
Gotcha.
It's 330 for each.
You also find in a pile of bloody fabric, you find a cape that does not have any blood on it and seems to resist uh, getting dirty in this very not clean place. And it's a very flowy sort of a robe that has very long sleeves, and it's almost like a soft emerald green, sort of almost like a pastel green color, and the on the back, like it has two tails that come out and go very long in the back. This looks completely at odds with the other piles of different clothes and fabrics that you guys find.
Ooh, pretty.
What you got there?
Fancy.
Would any of us be familiar with what this is? Is that Versace?
It is very elven in
Gucci?
its attire. It does look it's either magical or very fancy, but it feels magical to you all. And then what else do you guys find with your nat 20? You guys find oh, there is a separate pile of more equipment, sort of where piles of studded leathers or other things that they have found in the more equipment style of pile. You find kind of all together, and you can see like a part of like an arm still in the jacket that wasn't necessarily taken out. But you see a black sort of bomber jacket style. And on that is like this really bright golden badge that is pinned to the bomber jacket. And the badge is in the shape of a compass. And in the center of that compass is a painted goblin eye, a green goblin eye that sort of like follows you guys as you look at it. It's very creepy as it looks at you. Like it's painted and it's not moving, but as you like move it, it like follows. And then in the pocket of that bomber's jacket, you guys find a small bag that kind of jingles when you pick it up, but it doesn't sound like gold or silver or platinum. And as you look in it, you see a small bag of different chits, 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 that all have different names and values on them, made of various materials, metal, wood, glass. Just
Do any of us know what that is?
oh, Tyrion, roll history with advantage. You would be the most obvious person that would know this.
It's 11, 15, 25 altogether.
25. Yeah, you know these as soon as you see them. They are gambling chits, where different gambling dens give these out in lieu of money, right? And you gamble with them, and then you cash them out at the end of the day. And you can see as you go through them, there are five different styles of chits in here that seem to be from different gambling dens. Is what it looks like to your trained eyes. You see, I guess here I'll go through them really quick. Which ones would you recognize? There is an elegantly crafted golden colored one with like an embossed image of a griffin on one side and intricate scroll work on the other side, and it says the Gilded Griffin on one. Another one you have, they're almost smoky, almost crystal and smooth. And on both sides, they just have these sort of concentric circles that kind of look like they sort of create this optical illusion of going like into it, sort of like a funnel. Is what it looks like, but there's no name on either side, and the funnels look a little bit different. Like there's a few different styles of those, but there's no name. There are some that have that are wood. They look like wood planks that have been cut and shaped into coins. That those say the Sailor's Respite on it. And I'll put these in chat so you guys don't have to write all this stuff down. They have a carved anchor on one side. It says the Sailor's Respite on the other side, and they look very nicely varnished and polished. You have some hexagon-shaped ones that are almost like translucent, that have some sort of rune in the center of it. and the edges are smooth, and they kind of like reflect the light. They look pretty shiny, while also being translucent. Those ones also don't have a name. And then these ones you are familiar with, actually. The last ones are very simple hammered iron. And they look like any blacksmith could make them. And they have a pair of dice embossed on one side. It looks like someone just, took a hammer with a stencil, just hammered the stencil of the dice in them. And on the other side, it says the iron dice. And these are the heaviest ones of the bunch. And you recognize these as coming because you know where the iron dice is, which is in a place called Broken Tooth. And we can get to that here in a moment. I've talked for a while, so.
Would any of us recognize the badge that's on that jacket? Or know if it holds any sort of like authority or anything?
Roll a who just rolled? You just rolled a history check for those things. I'll let you use that history check. So during your rumor mongering, I keep saying that, but I don't think that's what it is. Your rumor mills that you were doing over there in New Towers. It was mentioned that this symbol is the symbol of havoc. But whoever was wearing this jacket met an untimely end.
Yeah, at the arm falling out of it, I would assume.
Yeah, and you can see it's been chewed on, and it looks like someone took a bit out of it. Right. And there are
Did we ever-
varying. Some of them have amounts on them, like dollar amounts, but numbers on them denoting the value of them. But some of them don't. And I can paste all this stuff later when it becomes
Okay.
Were we ever given like a emblem of this pirate king queen person?
When you guys were asking around in New Towers, it was described to you the this symbol that you guys see on the badge, the goblin eye in the compass.
Okay.
So the rumors are at least partially correct as far as you guys are concerned.
So while Tyrion's kind of, going through all the coins and having a look at them, I'll just have Vessio burn the spell slot and cast Identify on that green robe. And to save time, if you want to just copy paste whatever it is. Move it along.
Well, I have a button that just says show to players. Show all users. There you go. It is a Luna moth cape.
Ooh. Let's see.
Which is fancy. I like it. I've been waiting for a reason to drop it into my game. So thank you guys for finding it.
Shady.
Tyrion's looking at the cape. He's like, ooh.
Okay, who is claiming it? I need to know this.
Tyrion.
It's a little
He's looking
too
at it.
light green for Vasteel, so after identifying it, he'll just kind of like, geek.
You like the more eldritch
It's the Bomber
green.
Jack and Moya style.
One of you guys take this. It's too pretty for me.
And like half embarrassed, he just like holds it out to Sen. He's like, okay, maybe I give everybody else a chance first.
I mean, Zen is eyeing it, but she's not saying anything about it.
Your thoughts on the robe cape thing? The super fancy, really cool green one?
She really likes it, but she's trying to figure out how to put it into words right now. It's very
We'll split it
pretty.
down the
Vasile
middle.
just
No.
like unceremoniously just shoves it into Sen's hands. Like, please take it.
Darn.
And she just takes it, hugs it close to her. She has a happy face right now, holding it.
Oh, well. Wasn't meant to be.
You
Next time.
too. Timeshare.
It's keep it. I can fly anyway.
Well,
Yeah, well, with hearing that, her eyes sparkle a bit,
Yeah.
that she gets to keep it.
Oh, that does bring me to a mechanical question. I know that technically the Dragon's Breath spell is an enchantment thing that you have to do as a bonus action. Can I use a full action to cast it if I use it immediately? Without concentration?
Generally, the answer is no.
Okay.
You can't switch actions and bonus actions because they're balanced that way for a reason. But you can use a bonus action standing there, right? So you don't. It doesn't.
This was
have to-
more the question of can I fly and breathe fire, because the Dragon's Breath is a concentration thing. And I didn't know if that would break concentration to cast it on my turn immediately.
If Dragon's Breath is concentration, then yes, it would break your concentration to cast it.
Okay. That was all.
if you have something that can, like, if you have a Pearl of Power, something that gives you like a replenish, you can fly, like get some air, Dragon's Breath, and like momentum, and then reapply fly, and like scoot back up.
Well, yeah, but that
There,
burns
there are ways for
two
this to happen.
third level spell slots.
And leveled
Yeah.
spells in a turn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, true.
falling out of the sky.
That's You use your first turn to like get up, and then while you're falling on your second turn, you Dragon Breath, and before you land and splatter on your third turn, you refly.
Okay, so I need to learn Featherfall. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you
they
know,
sell
we
them in
could-
Esden. We'll just have to travel there and get some potions. It's
Or we
You
could
got
right?
those
try to.
sky rings, right?
Well, how would Tyrion feel about a jetpack?
Well, I mean,
I'm for 'em.
I've never really thought about it, and just hypothetically speaking, it would be rather good to know.
Well, I've got an engine of a skyboard that I've got. It was either that or trying to like think of like aerial roller skates. Because that makes sense and is safe and yeah, totally viable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bastille can figure out something. I'm sure. I trust his ability.
La 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 la. So
Anyway,
Barracuda's.
Now that we're
sorry.
standing in the gory inn, what are we doing?
Showing off your new.
So
capes.
Varric, who has been talking to Aura and her crew, is approaching the building. Did you guys find anything in there?
Hey, think fast! As there's a bag of coins that rapidly flies toward Vark.
Oh, a tip.
Just a tip.
Flanders fee.
330 of them.
Where'd this come from?
Don't
Gestures
ask.
broadly to the piles of loot around us.
And as he was like tossing it, he starkly stops. You can see his face just drop as he looks at it and just begrudgingly shoves it in his pocket.
We have a lead if you want to join up here.
Oh, excellent. I think I might have one as well. And Varric will, as he walks inside, and everyone would know at this point that Varric hasn't really been outside of Lozandar. That's the right continent, I think.
Mhm.
He's been a few places, but not too much, and it's been few and far between, and he's got some years behind him, so as he walks in, he just stops dead in his tracks, and everyone can tell that he is just really shocked at the state of the room.
Being kind of brought back to reality by that from, ooh, look at the shiny cape. Yeah, the whole thing just drops immediately.
My God.
Oh, they had nothing to do with this.
You couldn't be more right, Tyrion. I'll be outside. He's gonna quickly walk outside.
And you get a nod from Tyr. Now, was that the entirety of the inn that we checked, like going room to room?
Yeah, it's less of an inn and more of just a
Oh, okay, gotcha.
community gathering area that has
I wrote
less.
town hall in my notes.
Yeah, that's really like there's no like doors. It really wasn't a place to separate from the outside. It was more of a covered
Okay,
sort
so
of
like a
meeting
gathering
area.
area, yeah.
Yeah,
The communal area.
exactly.
Community center.
That has been desecrated by whatever the rules state.
And does Varric recognize like the Elven house, the architecture, or is it just generic Elven?
This is typical for this area. The Shreet, sort of tropical elven architecture. It's not anything like
Distinct.
there's not a house or a noble line that has run this town for whatever reason, and it's not. This town really isn't like an elven only town either. This is kind of just. It was originally an elven city.
There just happened to be elves here.
Yeah,
Well, they-
I was just seeing if he recognized the Elven architecture, being
Yeah.
an elf himself.
Yeah, it's not anything even specific.
Gotcha.
You guys ask hard questions.
You
But
damn
not-
Skippy.
Hard
that I'm
questions
not
as
always
late.
prepared for. Okay, so are you guys looking around in this place more? Are you guys going over to the shipyard or?
I'd say
Hightailing
before
outta
we
here?
leave, Vasil's gonna take half a second and try and locate like where in amongst the piles, like silverware and other assorted flatware, maybe.
There are tons of options. You have at least 20, 25 sets of all different types that are just all in a pile. Like that was there's just literally a pile of 500 different little pieces. So
Vasil was raised poor and he's an opportunist. So he's just, grabbing up handfuls of varying silverware and just dumping them into his jacket.
Instead of saying that
He's
she's going to
securing
clean it. She's going to clean this before he
doesn't
grabs
care
it
if it's
then.
clean or not.
She does.
Tyrion stops like mid step as he's hearing all this clanging behind him, looks back and he's, oh, okay.
Look at this. Isn't it neat?
it's a
We
thingamabob.
will.
Hey,
Have
do
you
we
ever
know what a
seen
blunderbuss
anything
is in this universe?
Brought me endless joy to hear that.
Yes, blunderbusses have been engineered away, but yeah, they're certainly not as good as the different zap guns and zap rifles that
Fair
are
enough,
that
fair
are around.
enough.
But
Maybe
You
it's
know-
like a hand me down from the great grand something.
In some museum somewhere, you guys have seen what a blunderbuss is, yes.
Shove it full of
Oh.
silverware. Hello, lads!
I immediately thought of that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where they left
Yeah,
the cannon
yeah,
with the
that, yep.
silverware. I thought that's
Little
for
buddy.
sure where you were going with that.
Oh no, not at all. He's in it for the fact that it's silver.
He's part magpie.
He really is. He really is. Like that's his entire like monetary value set. Is shiny? Must be
shiny.
worth money.
Oh, he's shiny. Shiny equal value.
But if it's dirty, it doesn't look shiny. So it needs to be clean for it to be shiny.
This is why he's friends with Sam.
Clean my dishes.
So I just didn't like him touching all the dirty stuff, so she cleaned it.
You know what, Vasil, with your nat 20 investigation for this, you do see that there's a set of silverware in this pile, a one knife, one fork, and one spoon that look very distinct from the rest of them. The rest of them, you see they're in sets, right? You see like 4 or 5 of one type, and you see 4 or 5 of another type, and you see multiples of these other ones. But this one, it looks very distinct and very highbrow. But they look, there's only one fork, one knife, and one spoon, and they are a very highly polished. See yourself inside of the spoon, sort of silver.
Seeing these, he's gonna pick them up individually. He's gonna look them over in his hands and tuck them into a separate pocket from the other pockets of which he's been shoveling these other silverware pieces into. These are going into his personal mess kit.
Yep. I think that's the last nat 20 gift I have for you.
It's more than enough.
Yes, it's wonderful. So, was it only one jacket that we found of the Havoc badge?
It was.
Okay. Not being one to put on this jacket that just had a gory, bloody arm in it, he'll take a second to like turn the jacket over and study it, and then whips up a disguised self with a mostly identical jacket.
Okay. Easily enough. Are you looking for identical, or are you looking for mostly identical?
We're gonna get as close as we can.
Yeah, no problem. You commit these things, these details to memory. Are you bringing it with you, or are you just leaving it?
I'm thinking so. Yeah. It's
At least
getting.
grab the badge.
Yeah.
I'd say take the jacket.
I mean, it's a nicely made jacket. Like, this is not a
Oh, okay, gotcha.
like a run of the mill bomber jacket. You can see that it's been cleaned, well taken care of. It has certainly seen some use, and which makes it stand out even more, right? That with all the use that this thing has seen, it's still very well made. You can see that there have been, repairs to it, but repairs that that don't make it look patchy. So, but yeah, no, it's a nicely well made jacket, albeit a little bloody right now, sure.
Which then can clean.
But you always know.
Need
I
like
mean,
a maid uniform for Sam or something.
And Varric, by the way.
What's that again about getting a maid uniform for Varg?
No!
What?
Even better.
All I heard was like maid uniform, and then and for Varg.
No, I was
I was
saying
like,
Varric
huh?
and
Okay.
Varric
I didn't know he was
Varric
swinging
also
that way.
knows
I don't judge. It's
prestidigitation.
2024, but like,
No, I was saying Varric also knows prestidigitation.
fair enough. Fair enough.
So does Vasile.
Say
He
no
just
more,
doesn't
say no
care to
more.
use it at this moment.
Shit.
Yeah, I like the blood. Gives character.
Gives natural patina.
Close. I have no blood on it. Vasile not want. My inner monologue of your character is hilarious. So great. We're almost done in there.
Oh yeah, by this point, he's come out to use the sunlight in order to study this thing. So it's
Yeah, after tucking away the special silverware, he's making his way back out.
Yeah, 980s is out.
And Seth is more than happy to be out. It's too dirty in there for her. Oh, and smelly. No one likes smelly.
True, it is pretty rank in that.
Yeah, and you can feel that sort of that rank undead stench is very prevalent in that place. You can feel it a bit more concentrated.
Dirty.
Little different than your run of the mill Knoll stench.
To the shipyard.
No. Yeah, shipyard.
Okay. And the town is pretty small. It just takes a few minutes to hop on over to the shipyard, and you can see your Rosethorn ship still docked up there, and Johnny Five, you standing on the edge, gives you guys a little half-hearted salute as you guys come close enough for him to see you, like he was watching you guys this whole time. And why didn't you?
If he's watching, Seth's going to do a little twirl to see if he does a thumbs up out to cloak or not with a cape.
No, he'll do 2 finger guns instead. With like a no, he that's a thumbs up for me. Thumbs up around cool though, so he doesn't do that. Very, very Fonzie. Anyway.
Hey.
So on your way
So-
in... Oh, go ahead.
Was he just like posted up here while we were fighting, watching us?
He was, yes.
So Vark will ask him, "Did you enjoy the show?"
Well, so he's up like,
Oh, okay.
I don't know, 50 or 60 feet from you. You guys
Then,
aren't there.
hold on, let me double check. Let me look into. I want to make sure I can do this for prestidigitation. You can do like sky letters, right?
No, there's a specific
sky
sky
right?
writing.
No, I mean like you can do like lettering and just like a little like image above you, right?
Minor
Can you
illusion.
create imagery? Can you create imagery with Presto or no?
No,
It
that's
says
minor
here
illusion.
that you
Oh,
can create
okay.
you can create harmless sensory effects like faint music notes. That's the closest I
or
could
like
find
a
for
very
that.
small item.
So you make a color, a small mark, or a symbol appear on an object or a surface. Okay. Never mind.
There's a kind of a surface.
No, that'll take too long because then I gotta. Yeah. No, I was looking for just a
We
quick.
have Vax.
Sitting there doing ASL.
Then I mean, if is he within like yelling distance?
Oh, yeah.
Then Bark will just loudly enjoy the show.
Very much so. Good job.
Yeah, boy.
And Bark will very clearly just like spit on the ground and continue.
Vasile will see Vark spit and just snort.
Well put.
So on your way into the shipyard proper, and now that you guys are taking a slower look around, you can see that everything on the walls has been pulled off. There are no design specs. There are no drafting diagrams. There is nothing that would make you feel like people build anything here. All the tools have been taken. this place has been stripped clean. But there is a very obvious room where there's certainly someone was killed here. There's a giant blood stain on the floor, and that's the only very obvious stain here in the town outside of the combat that or out of the merchants and their ilk, but the I guess not ilk, some sound bad. But this is like the only other sign of combat that you guys have seen here. Yeah.
Is there any way to like identify blood? Is that a thing in Dungeons and Dragons? Do we have forensic
Like
evidence?
what it came from, or just
Or
that
whose
it
it
is
was,
blood?
or like it was XYZ race's blood, or I don't know. Any
know.
is there any way of extracting information from blood?
Yo, blood hunter. What do we need?
Yeah, not normally, no.
Okay. Curious.
You can roll a medicine check to make sure that this is actually blood.
No. Varric
Just
is
really
pretty confident
screwed up
it
making
is.
a sandwich with ketchup. I'm sorry.
No, I mean Varric's got his own assumptions.
Okay.
And
But
again,
yeah,
he makes that. Sorry.
no, just as you're looking around, this place is less ransacked than the rest of the town, and it looks much more precise in the pickings, if that makes sense. Whereas the rest of the town looks literally ransacked and gone through, whereas this looks like it
They were
was
looking for something
methodically
specific.
taken from here. Yes, and there's nothing in here. There, like I said, tools, papers, everything has just been taken out of this place. Like someone had like someone bought it and hasn't moved in yet.
Is there anything like
Or
a
somebody's been moved out.
like a logbook or sort of like a clipboard or a supervisor board that's got like what was in storage or
Nothing. Nope.
nothing? Okay.
Like the furniture is left, and then that's it. Like all the material possessions in this place, besides basically what was bolted down, is gone.
Is there a main desk? Like a drawing
Yeah.
desk?
Yeah, there is a main office area, and you can see it's not anything like the largest shipyards that you guys are at. Like even the one Pyrathis this in White's Landing was much bigger than this place, where they had multiple berths that they were doing shipbuilding like on the water. But in here, you just have a very a few nice rooms and a large area where you can see like maybe some prototypes or different manufacturing has been done, but there's nothing there now. There is a drafting room. There is a nice drafting table, but nothing on
Is
it.
the chair gone?
The chair is still there.
Would it be worth? 980s would ask. I mean, this. I'm assuming this is like you say, like a dockyard, so it's massive type thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would 90s would ask you? It would take a huge amount of resource to move such large things. Would it be worth to detect any magic or anything? And she's asking that of the group. Their opinion.
Well, I'm no expert in it, but Sen? Basile?
Suppose it would not hurt. See if there's any trace remnants of whatever spells may have been cast, if any.
Then it
Or
might tell us what. Sorry, go ahead.
well, Varric's just gonna say, or if this workshop's anything like mine at home, where he keeps the really good inventions. he's any good craftsman, it's hidden with magic.
I mean, as a character, I do have detect magic. So.
And
But
out of character,
Ah.
isn't that a ritual?
is it? It's a
Isn't-
divination.
I was gonna say I thought it was just action.
Oh, yeah, it does say
but
ritual.
it can be.
My point is, like, I think you can, if it's a ritual, do clerics have ritual? Yeah, they got ritual casting, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to cast it without a spell slot. Was what I was getting at.
It'll just take a little extra time, is all.
Which we
Which,
have.
I mean, yeah.
Whenever I click it, it says I have. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it's asking for a spell slot. So how do I cast it as a ritual?
No, just say no, and
Okay.
you don't have to click it because you're not using a spell slot. So you can just tell us it's your ritual casting.
Okay. So just cast spell, yeah?
Yeah, since you're not using a spell slot, you don't actually have to click it in there. We don't have to keep
Oh,
track
okay.
of it.
Mentally.
Right, so you guys see Naiades pop a squat on the ground and start to cast detect magic.
While
As-
she's doing the, sorry,
No, go ahead. I was going to ask.
Varg's going to try to find, like, again, like, based off what his own knowledge of his workshop back at home, where he might have a secret entrance or compartment. He's going to try to look around for somewhere that might be the best idea or the better locations for Naiades to focus her attention once she's cast the spell.
Okay, go ahead and roll investigation for me.
Draw. It's another 19. This D20 one's really good. That's 23 total.
So while she's casting, you're putting your if I was this guy and I wanted to hide something, where would I find it? Sort of looking through here,
Where
and
should she look?
and if you look at some of the more obvious places, you don't find anything. You start to wiggle out some of the furniture and start to look in all the nooks and crannies, and there is a brick in the wall that looks a little off, and your intuition uh, pays off as you start to wiggle it, and it's loose. And it certainly feels at odds with the rest of this workshop being. Yeah, I'm not saying
So
you pull it
Varg,
out, but I'm saying that
yeah, okay.
It does look
Because
like
he'll just give it he'll give it the lightest touch, see if it jiggles. Because he also knows you keep the good stuff protected.
So the brick looks like it will move, which is at odds with the rest of the brickwork here, which all looks really solid. This one just happened to give you an odd feeling as you saw it. So yes.
And Varg will take extreme note, definitely marking where it's at in his head.
Yep. Okay, and
What you doing over there?
Your detect magic finishes casting, and you open your eyes, looking for any of that feeling of magic around you, and there's nothing. There's not a speck, nor a hint of any magic in this place. From where you're standing,
Damn.
and I imagine you would look around a little bit as you walk around. You don't get any hint of anything, and if you show her where where you think there might be something, you don't get any hint of magic from there either.
Naiades would just like give a sigh of just deflation, like she's at a loss. There's nothing.
Nothing at all.
No?
Well, I mean that end of itself is something. Was anyone else anywhere else picked this clean?
No, everywhere else
I
looked
mean-
very ransacked and
Oh, that's right. I
chaos.
forgot that he wasn't there for that part. My bad. I was wondering what was being asked.
And you would have seen it as you walked through the town too. Just the outside was very ransacked. But
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the place that seems, for lack of a better word, tidy. Everywhere else was just...
I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh, what?
Aw.
Fuck. I just wanted to ask, was it already established th that this shipbuilder, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with remembering this name, that they were
Elden
kidnapped
Firth.
specifically for their shipbuilding abilities?
Let me flip back in
that
the note. Hold up.
that was the rumor.
Eldenberg.
The rumor was that Havig wanted Elden Firth for herself, and that for whatever reason she was, capturing shipwrights, and she needed to take the whole city. I mean, rumor, you don't know why she actually took the whole city, but it was specifically because of him. Is what the
Okay. So, I mean, seeing nothing, this is really starting to add up. That, maybe this really is the reason why Elden Firth was kidnapped, and all of their tools are missing, all of their designs are missing. I mean,
Yeah,
even the
but the
prototypes
whole
are gone.
town.
It is
Looks
a
like
little
Havoc got
unsettling.
what
I know it didn't come across earlier, and I realized right after it came out of my mouth, but I was like, when the chair is maybe gone. Maybe that's what he specifically needed to sit in or something. I don't know.
Why? Like why the chair?
Oh,
Specific work
like
desk.
if it was his chair, like maybe because
Yeah.
he.
For
Oh.
comforts.
But no, the chair
Gotta
was
make
still
sure
there.
your designers are working at their best. So you
Well,
import their chair from halfway across the
You
world.
belong to Disney.
seems like Havoc got what she wanted. But she might not have gotten everything. As Vark will very carefully, very slowly remove that brick.
Okay.
I smell magic.
Um. No, there was no magical essence from this brick, and as you slowly pull out the brick, you hear the unmistakable click of a trap.
And Vark will brace himself.
And then nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
that was lucky.
Is anything changed about our surroundings?
Nothing. You guys see as he starts to pull it out and it clicks, and you see him like, and
You
then
hear
looking
him?
around. No change. Nothing.
Is
That
there
could have ended
something
very
in the
badly.
brick?
And he'll take the whole thing out.
And you take the whole brick out, and you can see a very elegantly designed trap on the inside that was supposed to have triggered as you pulled it out. But you can see it had already been triggered, and
Can
that
I discern its purpose?
yeah,
Like, what, like,
it was a poison trap on the
Okay.
inside, and you can see that the poison vial had already been expended, and it is empty. There is nothing.
can I see its, like, delivery method? Like, does it have a needle or a... Like, what's the delivery method of the poison? Or is it an
It's
aerated?
aerated.
Okay. Vark will look down to see if, I don't know, like, been there any blood coughed up right where he's standing or nearby?
Nope, you don't see it.
Okay.
So they really did take everything.
Is there anything besides the trap in there?
Nothing. This place is seriously picked clean.
I feel like I'm really thick and I'm missing something obvious.
I do too. But
I mean, and Varg will just start commentating out loud.
So
Kind of
hold on,
pressing
really
this.
quick. You guys feel thick because you guys don't feel the next thread, or do you guys feel thick because you don't really understand what's going on here?
I just haven't picked up any.
I feel like there's something I'm missing, and I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
What am I not
I
looking
haven't
for that, or
checked.
I'm not asking the right questions? You know.
So, just can I try to? Because I mean, I'm getting the sense that Rowan Blackwood might have just been a bargaining chip or collateral, and Havig, being the pirate king or queen or what have you, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it a certain way. She just came to take what she wanted. She took it. City be damned. And Varric would actually, like, to the best of, not like that cohesive, but he's kind of just speaking his thoughts aloud. Is that why you raised the whole town just for one person?
And reflecting, it was just this guy here, right? Like, it was his shipyard, but it was mostly just his work.
This is his shipyard. He built it himself. He doesn't have like a whole
Yeah.
giant business. It's he may get some help building the ships themselves, right? But this is his shindig. Like, he is putting this place on the map.
Was.
Well, you don't know.
Point of order. Warg. If town was attacked, then why is there was no blood nowhere in town. There was no struggle. You tell me that they empty entire town with no struggle. No one say no.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, when you have overwhelming force, and you know how to use it, and Varric will try to think about anything he knows about Havig and Verdant Hollow. Like, does he know anything about the size of forces that Havig has at her disposal, and what type of, like, how large of a city or town Verdant's Hollow? Like, could they have stood a chance against a pirate king's armada?
So you guys saw it on through what's his name? Toba's visual projection that she flies a dreadnought. She flies a Geshtar dreadnought ship, which is essentially a city in the air,
Of
along
itself.
with a bunch of different frigates and cruisers to go with it. Like, she has an armada. So
So
this
she'd
is
like have a city in the sky as
the
well.
city
with her.
barely
And-
has guards. So
To give it in perspective that Vasil would understand, he would give it an analogy of the court of Borealis and whatever, like the local, the guard of a local town that they had visited in Lozandar, that obviously wouldn't stand any semblance of a chance against the court of Borealis. I mean, if we went there, do you think they would stand up? I mean, sure, you have a few. And Bark will gesture to the room, and this is what happens to them.
And Vasile would, after a beat, shrug and slowly nod.
All right. I hope it's not any more worse than what I'm imagining. Did you have any thoughts?
Do you think maybe they got driven into the forest? Well, is there a forest or anything surrounding the town?
Yeah, it is. It's a coastal town, whereas this little inlet is connects out to the ocean, but you guys aren't like right there with the waves or whatever. And all the rest of it is all surrounded by forest. There's a small road that leads to the north east out of town, but the rest, it seems like most of their shipping is done either through the air or through the water.
I think that
If the most of the damage wasn't done in town, it may be in the surrounding forest.
it might be wise to check, especially if
Brings
they
up an
had the
interesting
attention.
point. Um, while we were in the community center, would there have been any like signage of, in case of emergency, all townspeople are directed to this area, or
Some evacuation shelter or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, you didn't see anything like that in there.
all right.
Advertising for like a hiking trail or something.
Somebody would have to escape.
Is there any like local what's the word I'm thinking of? Like landmarks posted, like that might be places locals might congregate or visit nearby. Like that kind of thing posted, like the local fall, like Lovers Falls or some shit like that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, POI.
not really. No. Like without anybody to ask, like there just isn't. This is a really small town here.
Gotcha.
Aura probably wouldn't know either, would she?
She might.
One way to
Yeah.
find out.
Could be
Yeah.
worth
Mm.
asking.
Oh,
Agreed.
She's been here
Light
before.
knows. I'll be right back.
Can we take a bio break?
Oh shit! Yeah,
Mm.
that's midnight.
Drink run.
It's 11:57. Let's do 8 minutes. See you guys in a minute.
Sorry, I just realized I turned off my camera.
Oh, whatever.
Speak.
Oh, I should have used this time to look at the memes. Fuck.
Ooh, excuse me. 2 hours now.
That Little Mermaid reference was great.
Thank you. That's just made me think of. Want a thingamabob? I've got 20.
But who cares?
But who cares?
No big deal.
I want more.
more. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jump. Never mind. I don't know this song.
I say, I don't think legs are required as part of the lyrics, is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. Did you
I
watch
mean,
the
I don't
live
know.
action Little Mermaid?
I did, actually, and I liked it more than I thought I would. And I hate the internet for
Same.
making me go into it thinking I wouldn't like it. And it was different. It was different enough that it didn't feel like it was copying everything exactly. And I kind of liked what they did with it in quite a few places.
Yeah.
But I fucking hated Flounder. Oh my god, man.
I will say, like the Sebastian, I want one. The way he talks is perfect, man.
Sebastian was great.
Yeah.
Flounder, not so much.
Didn't they get the same guy to do Sebastian as the cartoon?
It didn't sound like it. By any stretch.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
I mean, it very well could have been, but it didn't sound like him.
I'm very funny about remakes. I haven't really seen any of the other live action stuff. The only thing I think I've seen, well, I guess you wouldn't call it live action, would be the Maleficent, but that's not actually Sleeping Beauty, is it? So.
Yeah, I'd say that counts.
Mm.
And that Little
But I
Mermaid.
just like Angelina Jolie.
Oh, right. That was one of the few movies, if not the only movie, I enjoyed Melissa McCarthy in. I typically cannot stand Melissa McCarthy.
I don't even give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, I just don't like her.
Yeah, she did. I thought she did really good as Ursula, though. I will give her that credit. Credit is due.
That was the other. I was surprised at how much I didn't necessarily hate her in that because it was not a
Right?
Melissa McCarthy role. It
wasn't, and that's why I liked it because they give her the what I call the Will Ferrell treatment, where the industry realizes they excel at a certain role, so they always cast him playing that fucking role.
Have we talked about this before? I feel like we
Probably.
have. Because
Probably.
Stranger Than Fiction is one of my favorite movies, and I can't stand
Because
Will Ferrell.
Because it's a different typecast of his. Like it's. Oh, that's such a good
movie. It's not a
movie.
Will Ferrell movie. It's a movie that Will Ferrell is in, but it's not a Will Ferrell movie. So
yeah, anyway. Which I like because I mean he's a good actor. Everyone just wants him to be the Anchorman, you know. Or like, in my opinion, everyone wants him to be the SNL guy. That's at least from my perspective where he started was SNL.
Yeah.
Which, if you've not watched the Best of Will Ferrell SNL, I heartily recommend it. He's fucking hilarious.
I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey in Living Color. You guys ever watched Living Color? It's another skit show like SNL, but a bit more, let's say, color to it.
You see that Mick posted that his character being vomited on count has reached 7. Like
last I knew, it was like 4.
That is so funny that is totally a thing for him. He just happens to get vomited on a lot. Like it is uncanny, and it's not like it's just happenstance. Like, I can't think of a single time he's done it with us where I'm like, oh, he brought that upon himself. No. It just happens.
I mean, I
And if-
felt like I wanted to punish him just a little bit for throwing out or messing with my combat
Fair.
that I was gonna do later. Like, you just happen to want to wrestle the bear that just happens to be an undead monster.
Well, I
that
want to
had-
say, like, at least 3 of those 4 vomiting scenarios were from sessions you ran, I'm pretty sure. Not
you know,
just
you're
the
right.
one.
No, I forgot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about it. Maybe I'm just obsessed with vomiting. But it
Well, I
doesn't-
mean, he's got 4 others. He still counts up to 7.
But you guys haven't been vomited on. I haven't. Anyway, we're not.
Maybe we just don't remember it like
I
he
mean,
does.
I don't know how many times did you strangle or restrain my character? That's my thing so far.
That's different, though. That's a little.
Billy was getting double teamed by fish. I don't know what to tell you.
There's a difference between something game mechanics recurring as opposed to something happenstance recurring.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
just blown away.
vomiting mechanic.
I mean,
Anyway.
do breath weapons count?
Not in this
Vasile
Take that as a yes.
Because I mean,
I mean, there was.
come on, his damage type is acid.
Right, then the
Well,
first
that's
hit
what I
forgot-
did in the one Christmas one shot with Fizz
Oh
when he
my
was enchanted with Dragon's Breath.
god! I remember
It
that.
shows him
Shakes
as acid,
himself
and
up
he just
and
goes.
he shakes himself up like a
Because it
soda
came
can.
from somebody that wasn't him, it was more of like acid reflux.
Oh,
To this
Okay.
day, that is one of my favorite one shots I've run.
So
Oh my god, they killed this!
we're gonna sit here and bullshit about stuff. So let's try. It is late. Let's see if we can get to the end of the thread that we're pulling on this. At least.
Okay.
Sorry. I hate.
there was
I hate
somewhere
to
else
be
we were
the-
wanting
Back
to.
to the.
No, I got you.
Back to the lady,
Yeah,
aren't we?
Yep, on our way to the forest. Or
Would it be, sorry, out of character, do you think, because we just mentioned about the shipwright dude, but we didn't actually mention the pirate queen to this lady, would it be actually
Point of
to
order.
subtly,
Pirate King. No one has ever called them pirate queens.
oh, king, sorry. Just to be like, have you ever by chance heard of so-and-so? You know, not openly say too much, but
Not
You know.
saying she had anything to do with this, but you know.
in a completely unrelated note,
yeah, that scenario.
How about those pirate kings?
in particular, Havoc. No reason. Just curious.
No, but are you guys talking to Aura before you guys go trudging into the forest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you asking her again?
That was
Is
just
she-
OC to see if, think about if that would be a good thing to think, maybe to speak to her with.
If they knew of any places people would run.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you know? So she knows that there's a hermit that lives outside the town that that isn't really like part of the town, but just kind of lives close by. He doesn't know his name, just that he lives somewhere off the road to the northeast. They passed him on the way in, or at least they passed by where his place is on the way in.
Oh yeah, Hobo Joe. Everybody knows him.
But other than that, she doesn't. She's not really familiar with the sort of the sights of the town itself, and really are somebody who doesn't really have friends here, more professional.
Oh, I mean, should we at least check if he's all right?
Or if he's even still here.
It's worth checking out.
I agree.
Okay,
And I
and
guess being
she
kind
tells
of
you
forced.
he's probably an hour and a half or so out of town.
Damn.
Is that by foot or by airship?
By foot.
I don't know if we can get a clearing big enough out there to land. Well,
No,
lose
if we want
ourselves.
to, we might want to be a bit more discreet with our approach. If anything, for any, I mean, if there are refugees for their sake, what makes you think they'll? Oh, a skyship! Salvation! No.
That's fair.
Agreed, yeah.
Let's just hope there's someone to lend salvation to.
Like we're taking a hike.
Well, as you guys are discussing this here in this open area here in the center, you feel a strong wind start to blow through the town, and a very strong smell of rotting flesh assaults you all, causing you all to almost reflexively grab your nose, and you see a couple of the merchants start to retch and vomit.
But the
fucking
gnomes
talking
gave
about it.
that same sense, didn't they?
They did, but you feel this just intense feeling that came with it on the wind.
Oh, okay.
And you see the eyes of the panicked merchants start here and there looking for the source of this smell, as it seems unexpected to everybody. And within a moment, a hollow-sounding roar fills the air as a half-decayed sky shark flies over the center building that you guys were just in. Moving into the village, you see this gigantic, 20-foot-long sky shark start to wind its way silently through the air after its roar. And you see on its back, bolted, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase this, which allows you to see its back, where an abnormally large and imposing gnoll sits upon a throne, a bone throne that is literally bolted into the back of this creature's flesh. The gnoll looks down at you all as it stands up, and he's probably 200 feet away at this point, but when he stands, you see he stands a good 10 feet tall. This is the largest gnoll you guys have ever seen. As you see him pull this longsword literally out of the flesh of this rotting sky shark as it flies towards you guys. And this sickening cackle and laugh fills the air all around. I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Tomorrow.
Next week.
I was about to say, I'm down for another one tomorrow.
Oh, we've got one scheduled.
I kind of wanted to get to this today, but I didn't want to force you guys through all this. I wanted you guys to just play around.
Sky shark.
Oh, you guys haven't fought a sky shark yet. This is
Not yet.
Yeah.
This one is not living. In case that was not made.
Oh,
Really?
well, really?
Sushi is off the
Gosh.
menu.
I just thought that it was like holding it in its mouth, like that one Dark Souls helper.
Civ?
I haven't
I
played
don't know.
it, so
I don't play Dark
The
Souls.
Great Grey Wolf Civ?
I only know it's a good boy.
Well, here, let me. I still have it in outro, whatever. So anyway, guys, thank you all for joining. We're going to be stopping here for the night, as we'll be picking up our initiative next week, fighting whatever this boss Knoll is and his pet undead shark, which is not a phrase I thought I would ever say, but there you have it. And anyway, thank you for joining us. And I don't know how many viewers we had, but I appreciate y'all anyway. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys next week.